All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I like to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostle elders, a great millstone who rule well. And salutations to all you brothers out there pushing this word in love, truth, sincerity, and humility. Once again, it's the brother Shatia from the Chicago camp coming back to you with what I hope is another quick and edifying sit down. Okay, and the video that I'm going to spotlight is in response to what's going on in Vietnam right now. And if you have not heard about this, this is big news. This is huge news because what's being experimented on in Vietnam is definitely going to take place across the entire globe. Now, I know that there's a few countries, I think one of them is like Sweden or something like that, that already has this technology going. But what's happening in Vietnam is definitely going to be a test run for what's going to happen across the globe and is going to eventually lead to the G5480. Now, if you don't know what that is, go read Revelations, the 13th chapter, where it says, and he calls it all. You can finish the rest. So we're going to check out this video and we're going to get some more scripture.
Why is Vietnam the testing ground for the new banking order? Well, recently, Vietnam imposed a requirement for a digital ID, including a biometric scan of everyone in order to have a bank account. And what they did to enforce this is they closed 86 million bank accounts and seized all of the assets in those accounts. So the owners of those accounts have no ability to do banking or access their funds because they chose not to sacrifice their privacy and submit to this biometric surveillance tracking mechanism. Well, this is not something that is going to stay in Vietnam. This is a test because if we look at, for example, what's going on with the European Central Bank and digital ID initiative in Europe, as well as the Real ID and the CBDC system FedNow being imposed in the United States, we can see that it is coming to us as well. So what are you going to do about it?
So this man said that 86 million bank accounts have been seized because people don't want to give up their privacy and their biometric information as they're facing their fingerprints, causing a situation where people cannot use money such as banking and other things. I'm sure those other things could be buying or selling. And I believe the scripture talks about that. Let's go check it out. Revelation. We're not going to make this a long one. Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive the G5480 in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell. What did that man say? People can't do any type of banking, transferring and movement of money, buying and selling, conducting business. You can't do that if your money's being held. Okay? Save he that had the G5480 or the name of the or the number of his name. Now, you may be wondering why I call it G5480. So, because now since that we're in these latter times, that scripture is starting to gain a lot of momentum, and a lot of people are starting to read it, and they're connecting the dots. See? Charagma G5480. That's why I call it that. All right? Because for quite some time, and even now, Bad Uncle Esau has programmed the algorithm that once we say that word, then it automatically gets taken down. So, as you can see, G5480, Charagma, a stamped and imprinted mark, or stamped on the forehead or the right hand of the badge of the followers of the anti-Hamashiach, of idolatrous images. Okay, so this is why, what is that? So this is why I read Revelation 13, 16, and 17 the way I do. I just call it the G5480. All right, so now let's get back to it. So this man is saying that this is being tested out in Vietnam. It's testing out compliance, seeing who's going to give in. All right, who is going to stay strong and who's going to falter? Now I know some people are going to stand strong, but this is an event that is, as I mentioned before, that's going to lead to the G5480, which means that it is going to happen. It is going to pass in some way, shape, form, or fashion. People will eventually get it because the Bible has prophesied it. That's why the scripture says, Isaiah 55 and 11. It says, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. So the Lord stated that in the book of Revelation, a time would come where the entire world would be tested. Their faith would be tried because things would get so bad that the ultimate solution would be the G5480. Either you take it and you fit in with society, you conform, you be a permanent slave, or you keep your integrity in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, suffer the consequences now, but get the glory later. All right, this is prophesied to happen. It cannot be avoided. All right, and if you can't see that this type of draconian legislation is going to end up with the rollout of the G5480, then the Lord's just not dealing with you. Plain and simple. The Lord just ain't dealing with you. So like I said, I didn't want to make this a long one. Just wanted to keep up with news and prophecy. Nonetheless, I hope you all were edified. Till the next time, we're going to say shalom.